In my Plex server, I'm using a quite old graphics card now. It was launched in 2013 and it's the Radeon R7 260X, especially the SFX version. So I wanted to clean it up a bit. So remove it from the Plex server and clean all the dust and everything, which you can see that I'm doing here. But while in the processing of removing the GPU, well, something broke. Standoff for one screw broke. I mean, it's kind of old, 13 years, but it doesn't go super high on the temps, still. So I checked online to see if I can find any replacement parts, especially that part of the case, the shroud, and I didn't. And the only option was to buy another GPU. So I didn't really want to do that just for a part of the frame. So I searched on AliExpress and also nothing popped up. Well, being a very old case. I checked then the 3D printing community if there is something available, and I saw that people are creating GPU, I would say sleeves, because usually it's something that you'll put on top of the case that the GPU already has, just to have a different color. And if this is the case, I think you can just uh, maybe you can just paint it. So as I saw, the majority of the 3D printing sleeves are for newer GPUs, and also some YouTubers have um, designed some new case, but also for new GPUs. There's nothing available for old GPUs, and I thought about it, and let's print, let's design and print a new case. I think this is what 3D printing should be all about, giving a new life on old components, not changing the visual aspects on the new ones. It's also applicable as well. So having that in mind, I start to measure the GPU and selecting the material. As you can see here, I had a lot of trial and error. I think there were at least 6 versions that I've printed. There are a lot of privacies, and also I wanted to have a new fan, being an old fan on the old on the GPUs that sold. Well, can be quite nosy. So I decided to go with Noctua. I decided the last version after a couple of weeks and everything printed perfectly. I chose the beige color and it's surprisingly well printed, and also it's very similar to the color that the Noctua fan has. Choose the 92 millimeters fan, the 14 millimeters width version, so it's the slim one, and I think it looks good, and it should be more silent as well. So it's like giving a new life for the 13 old GPU. I printed the case in PETG. It's a matte page. So because I don't really like the shininess of the PETG. So it will be matte. 92 millimeters. It's exactly the dimension for the heatsink. So I think might be 92 and a half or 93 or something like that, but it fits perfectly, as you can see. So it was almost plug and play, just 2 weeks spent on designing. For the connector, the power connector, I found some, as you can see here, well, basically it's an adapter for 2.5, I think, the one that the GPU uses, to a normal fan connector. I bought it on AliExpress for a couple of bucks, and this is the color. Looks really cute. I wanted to go with white in the first place, but well, I think this matches better the overall aesthetics of the GPU. So it's also for the design, but also to be practical. The fan fits perfectly, of course, because this is 6x7 print. And I also printed another bracket just to keep it in place. I don't think it would go anywhere since it's super close to the heatsink, just as a safety measure. So that's more or less it. I fitted everything inside. Since it's a bit, the case is a bit bigger to accommodate this new fan, there is enough space to keep the connector in place. I will share the STL, of course. If you want, you can just add a hole into the case to connect it directly to the maybe chassis fan, if you don't want to use this connector, so you can plug the fan directly. I'm using some heat inserts, 2mm one. Well, the diameter is 4mm for the insert, but it's for a 2mm screw. I wanted to go directly with pure holes, but for long term, I think using heat inserts is the best approach. These are very, very fast to add, especially in BTG, because you can go a bit higher with the temperature. And also I chose BTG because it's a GPU, so it can get kind of hot. I don't think it's the case in my tech server, but just as a safety measure. So everything looks like out of the factory, almost. And now we can add the GPU to it, after we replace the thermal paste, of course. We will plug the connector, and everything should run. I didn't do any tests before this, so yeah, don't do this. Please take all the safety measurements and safety precautions before you start designing something. But fingers crossed, I hope it will work as expected. I've managed to use all 4 holes for the case, but well, I thought, what if I would touch something or hit something on the back of the plate? Because well, this happens all the time, unfortunately, and on the back of the GPUs there are components so small and so fragile that it's very easy to break something, and something can fly off super fast if you are not careful. So I thought about the new GPUs that are currently coming with the backplate. Usually a metal one, but well, we don't have any such materials available. Look, it looks kind of cool. So I also printed a backplate that will also offer some ventilations, and it has enough clearance because it has some 3 or 4 millimeters feet attached to it. So you will just need 2mm screws that will hold in place both backplate and the main cover of the GPU, because it will go from this side directly into the heat inserts. It don't really remember the length of them. I just cut them as I need them. I'm buying 40 millimeters long ones. I'm just cutting them. I think this is the best solution. But I'm pretty proud of the final version, and I think it looks kind of cool. It's almost as from the factory. The only thing that it bothers me a little is the bracket on top of the fan. But well, this can be changed in a later version. I can think about other possible ways to keep the fan in place without that bracket. And I'm reusing the old screws from the old case in order to keep the case in place from the other side. So here we are using the old screws. I think we had 5 and now we are using only 4. So we have 1 extra screw left in case of, well, you need an extra screw to your screw basket. So as you can see, it looks perfect. Turned out better than expected, honestly. But it was a lot of work to measure everything and keep everything in place. So I hope it will be useful to other users as well. I don't think it needs more ventilation holes. I think those are enough. It's the same as it was from stock, so it should be more than enough. Now let's put it back on the Plex server and let's see if it works. Well, the GPU should work, but we need to test the connection to the fan. It's a bit cramped, I would say, having the small case for the server, but I'm not planning to upgrade it in the near future. So let's add the connector. Yeah, this would be the first test. So let's hope for the test. Just adding the brackets to keep the GPU straight. So I will just add the power cable and the HDMI, and then we can power it on. Or not even the HDMI, I think we just need the power cable. And the moment of truth. Let's see. Yeah, well, it doesn't spin. It tries to spin it, but it doesn't spin. And this is because it doesn't provide enough current. As you can see, when I touch it and push it a little, it started to spin. Because it doesn't have enough current to start it, but it has enough current to spin it while it's already spinning. So maybe go with MSI Afterburner or something to just set it to go with the maximum power when it starts, and then it can continue. So you just need the first second to have the maximum power, and then it will work as normal. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a lot of work, and I'm really proud of it.